Hello, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me, Dan the Story Man, for another book. And today we have a wonderful book here named called Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey. Ooh, I love ducks. Ooh, look. Look at the duck. Up there's an egg. It's coming out. Ooh, there's the baby duck. Oh, ducks are so cute. Here we go. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were looking for a place to live, but every time Mr. Mallard saw what looked like a nice place, Mrs. Mallard said it was no good. There were sure to be foxes in the woods or turtles in the water, and she was not going to raise a family where there might be foxes or turtles. So they flew on and on. There they are, trying to find a home for their family. Couldn't find a good place yet. When they got to Boston, they felt too tired to fly any further. There was a nice pond in the public garden with a little island on it. The very place to spend the night, quacked Mr. Mallard. So down they flapped. Quack. Look, there they are. Too tired to fly anymore, so they stopped in Boston, the city of Boston. Next morning, they fished for their breakfast in the mud at the bottom of the pond, but they didn't find much. There they are, looking for some fish. Didn't find too much. Just as they were getting ready to start on their way, a strange, enormous bird came by. It was pushing a boat full of people, and there was a man sitting on its back. "Good morning, Quack," quacked Mr. Mallard, being polite. The big bird was too proud to answer, but the people on the boat threw peanuts into the water, so the mallards followed them all around the pond and got another breakfast better than the first. Oh, look, there they are. What's the bird they were talking about? Is that a real swan on the back of the boat? No, it's not. But they thought it was. They thought it was a real swan, and they were getting fed peanuts. That's nice. I like feeding ducks. "I like this place," said Mrs. Mallard, as they climbed out on the bank and waddled along. "Why don't we build a nest and raise our ducklings right in this pond? There are no foxes and no turtles, and the people feed us peanuts. What could be better?" "Good," said Mr. Mallard, delighted that at last Mrs. Mallard had found a place that suited her. There they are. Found a nice place. But... "Look out!" squawked Mrs. Mallard. All of a dither. "Oh my goodness, what's going on? You'll get run over." And when she got her breath, she added, "This is no place for babies. Somebody came by with a bike and almost hit them. With all those horrid things rushing about, we'll have to look somewhere else. Oh my goodness, look at that boy on a bike. He almost hit the duck. Quack!" Oh no, that was close. So they flew over Beacon Hill and round the State House. But there was no place there. Oh, they're looking, flying around, looking for another place. Couldn't find it. They looked in Louisburg Square, but there was no water to swim in. Oh, it looked like a nice little place to stay, but no water. They need water. They're ducks. Be like a duck out of water. Then they flew over the Charles River. "This is better," quacked Mr. Mallard. "That island looks like a nice quiet place. It's only a little way from the public garden." "Yes," said Mrs. Mallard, remembering the peanuts. "That looks just like the right place to hatch ducklings." Oh, look, they found another place. This might be a nice place. Next to the Charles River. So they chose a cozy spot among the bushes near the water and settled down to build their nest. And only just in time, for now they were beginning to molt. That means their feathers were coming off to put in the nest. All their old wing feathers started to drop out, and they would not be able to fly again until the next ones grew in. Oh, look, just in time. Just in time for their old feathers to come out. Can't fly around much. Looks like a nice place they found, But of course they could swim, and one day they swam over to the park on the river bank. And there they met a policeman called Michael. Michael fed them peanuts, and after that the Mallards called on Michael every day. Oh, look, Michael the police officer. He's giving them some peanuts. And he gave them peanuts every day. Isn't that nice? What a nice police officer. I like policemen and women. After Mrs. Mallard had laid 8 eggs in the nest, she couldn't go to visit Michael anymore because she had to sit on the eggs to keep them warm. She moved off the nest only to get a drink of water or to have her lunch or to count the eggs and make sure they were all there. There's Mrs. Mallard counting her eggs. There's Mr. Mallard over there cleaning his feathers. 8 eggs. Isn't that wonderful? 8 babies. One day, the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, then Cack, then Lack, then Mack, then Knack, then Whack, and Pack, and Quack. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were bursting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings, and it kept them very busy. Oh, look at all the ducklings. How cute. 8 of them. They're so adorable. One day, Mr. Mallard decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like further on. So off he set. I'll meet you in a week in the public garden, he quacked over his shoulder. Take good care of the ducklings. Don't you worry, said Mrs. Mallard. I know all about bringing up children. And she did. There you go, Mr. Mallard. He was going on a little adventure. He said, I'll see you in a week. She taught them how to swim and dive. Oh, she was teaching them. Oh, how beautiful. They were taken to like a duck to water. She taught them to walk in a line, to come when they were called, to keep a safe distance from bikes and scooters and other things with wheels. Oh, they were following their mama, listening really good, being safe. When at last she felt perfectly satisfied with them, she said one morning, "Come along, children, follow me." Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack fell into line just as they had been taught. Mrs. Mallard led the way into the water, and they swam behind her to the opposite bank. There they go, from their little island, and I think they're going to the park. They're listening so well, they're getting so big. There they waded ashore and waddled along till they came to the highway. Uh-oh. The highway? That doesn't look safe. Be careful! Be careful, Mrs. Mallard and ducks! Quack, 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 lack, lack. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. Honk, honk, went the horns on the speeding cars. Quack, went Mrs. Mallard as she tumbled back again. Quack, 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 went Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack, just as loud as their little quackers could quack. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Mrs. Mallard and the ducklings kept right on quack, quack, quacking. Quack, quack, quack. The cars are going honk, honk, and the ducks are going quack, 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 quack. What do you think they're saying? It's like they're saying, "Hey, let us through. We want to go for a walk." They made such a noise that Michael came rushing, waving his arms and blowing his whistle. Michael, the police officer, to the rescue! Tweet, 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 tweet! Was he stopping the cars? Stopping the ducks? What was he doing? He planted himself in the center of the road, raised one hand to stop the traffic, and then beckoned with another, the way policemen do, for Mrs. Mallard to cross over. Look, he stopped the cars so that Mrs. Mallard and her children could walk across the street. How nice! Mr. Policeman, you're the best. I like policemen. They're so kind. As soon as Mrs. Mallard and the Ducklings were safe on the other side and on their way down Mount Vernon Street, Michael rushed back to his police booth. Oh, why do you think he's rushing back? Uh-oh, I think he knows what's going on. He has a plan. He called Clancy at headquarters and said, "There's a family of ducks walking down the street," Clancy said. "Family of what?" "Ducks," said Michael. "Send a police car quick." Oh, he wants to protect them. He wants to make sure they're safe. He wants to make sure that they get to where they're going. Meanwhile, Mrs. Mallard had reached the corner bookshop and turned into Charles Street, with Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack all marching in line behind her. There they are, walking down the street. Where do you think they're going? Everyone stared. An old lady from Beacon Hill said, "Isn't it amazing?" And the man who swept the street said, "Well, now, ain't that nice?" And when Mrs. Mallard heard them, she was so proud she tipped her nose in the air and walked along with an extra swing in her waddle. Oh, look, everyone was like, "Oh, so lovely. Look at the little ducks under the car." I love this book. When they came to the corner of Beacon Street, there was the police car with 4 policemen that Clancy had sent from headquarters. The policemen held back the traffic so Mrs. Mallard and the Ducklings could march across the street. Look at those policemen, stopping traffic, letting the ducks cross. Oh, so nice! I love this. Right on into the public garden. There they went, right into the garden. All together, in a line. What good ducklings. Listening to their mama. Inside the gate, they all turned around to say thank you to the policeman. The policeman smiled and waved goodbye. Oh, they said thank you. How do you think they said thank you? Quack, quack. Quack, 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 quack. You say it. Let me hear you. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. Oh. When they reached the pond and swam across to the little island, there was Mr. Mallard waiting for them, just as he had promised. There he is on the little island, waiting for his family. They came to join him, Mrs. Mallard and all of the ducklings. Isn't that sweet? The ducklings liked the new island so much that they decided to live there. All day long, they follow the swan boats and eat peanuts. Look at that. They found their new home on the island in the park. And they ate peanuts from the swan boat and all the nice people. And when the night falls, they swim to their little island and go to sleep. Oh, look, their little island, their new home in the middle of the park. That is such a nice book. Thank you for reading this book with me today and listening. Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey. And hey, if you have a book that you want to hear read, just tell me and tell your parents or your grandparents or your teachers, and they'll get in touch with me at my email. And until then, have a great day. Ta-ta, toodaloo, take care. Bye-bye.